make some assessment of its validity, and we say that a very clear view of the international scientific community is that there are dangerous risks of climate change coming from the accumulation of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. This is the overwhelming view of relevant scientific opinion. It's the overwhelming view of the academies of science in the great centres of scientific achievement, all of the major countries. There are some dissenters, very few dissenters with relevant scientific background, still some with relevant scientific background, but there's no doubt about where the weight of opinion lies, and the review takes as its premise that on a balance of probabilities, the mainstream science is right, and that it would be imprudent not to act on that basis. Living. I don't think there's any chance of us leading the pack, because others have already done that. Norway, for example, with its commitment to a zero emissions economy in a relatively short time frame. So the best we can hope for is that we're not a drag on the pack, and listening to some of the Australian debate, stopping us being a drag on the developed country effort will be an initial achievement. Well, I don't recall the academies of science of all of the countries of substantial scientific achievement predicting that the population of America would fall to 20 million. We have a different scientific base for what is being said now. We did have just 2 weeks ago a submission from the Academies of Science of all of the G8 countries, all the big countries of the world. In addition, from the Academies of Science in China and India, the Australian Academy of Science joined that effort, drawing attention to the high risks of dangerous climate change. I don't think we should confuse what at the moment is a very strong majority opinion from mainstream science with views, sometimes extreme views by some people at earlier times. As I said at the beginning, there is a small part of reputed relevant scientific opinion that doesn't doubt the existence of the greenhouse effect and of warming, but does raise questions about its importance relative to many other factors that affect climate. They are legitimate opinions, they are minority opinions, and for someone who's not a climate scientist like me, maybe you are a climate scientist, but if someone who's not a climate scientist like me, I don't think it is rational not to take the view that on a balance of probabilities, the large majority of mainstream scientific opinion is right. Listen to the back. Well, we will have a chapter on biosequestration built around agriculture and forestry, but also going into algae, which I think is potentially very important. After all, algae has a track record. It turned our atmosphere from a heavily carbonic atmosphere into one in which humans can live before we were around, and I think it has got a role to play in the future. In our chapter on agriculture, forestry and biosequestration, we will talk about how in Australia these could be very important components of the total mitigation effort in growing of trees and living vegetation, in sequestration of carbon in soils, for which we think there's considerable potential in Australia, and through some of the clever new processes, more speculative but exciting, that are the subject of research in South Australia.